We are live. Yay, good morning. It's Monday morning. Welcome. Happy to see you. Congratulations on starting your week out with Monday Momentum, your Momo. We're going to dive right in this week. We know you're busy and we don't want to spend a lot of time talking about stuff you're not interested in. So our topic today is videos and how we use videos in our businesses. And first thing I want to do is ask my co-host Linda Kay, who will introduce herself shortly, who looks frozen right now. I hope she's not. Linda, would you take a minute to tell us how you've used video or you wish you had used video in your work? Can you hear me, Linda? Or are you turned off? Yep, looks like it's not working. So here we go. This is the challenges of Hangouts, and I know that you guys probably wonder about that once in a while yourselves. It's strange and weird, and we have funny things happening, and Linda has reappeared, or the trees behind her have. So it's just one of the challenges of running Hangouts. Linda, are you able to answer a question, or are you still having to replug something?
Having technical difficulties here, Sarah.
Yeah, perfect, because it's just one of the things we're going to be dealing with today. So can you answer a question quickly while just talking, because you look just fine and we can see you and hear you. How have you used videos in your work, or how do you wish you'd use them, because you know how great they are?
Oh, I definitely wish I had used them. I have helped a number of clients put video on their websites. Oh, we're back again over here.
Don't worry about it. Just talk, darling. It doesn't matter.
I love technology.
There you go.
I recognize how really important video is, and it is something that I am going to be doing for myself personally. In the past, you know, I do a lot of things for my clients, but I don't always do them for me. And it's come to the point where it's time to promote me. So
you've heard a little bit about how video can impact the response for people looking at you, checking you out, seeing your website. If there's a video, it makes a difference, right?
Right.
Yeah. Well, I'll leave you alone. I know you're struggling. I'll just add my little 2 cents worth in. You know, we've been doing here videos, obviously, for over a year with Monday Momentum, and every time we broadcast on Google Hangouts, we get a video. And that video can be something that people can look at over and over again. Someone who might be a guest on our show, someone who is turning out, someone who... And first thing I want to do is ask Mike. Somebody's playing... Yeah. Kay, who will introduce herself shortly, who looks frozen right now. Gosh, we're having fun today. Linda, would you if you've got Monday Momentum on, you need to turn it off. You have used video in your work? Can you hear me, Linda? I'm assuming that that will be Linda. Looks like it's not working. So we're going to mute you, Linda.
I had the replay on. I left the video on. Sorry, Sarah.
There we go. Good. Okay. So without further ado, with all this interesting stuff we're having going on, I'd like to introduce Marcia O'Malley. Marcia is an expert on videos. She has years and years of working with TV and video, and she's going to talk a little bit with us today. The wonderful thing is, poor Marcia, just like the rest of us, is struggling with technology, and maybe the issue is not us at all. Maybe it's Google Hangouts. So all she's got is a photo to show us at this moment. But Marcia, would you tell us a little bit about your qualifications to talk about video marketing and how it's impacting business?
Sure, I'd be happy to. And I'm sorry that you can't see me live. This is actually an old picture of me. It really is me, but oh, technology can be so fun. Love it when it works, right? We absolutely love it. And then when it doesn't, we curse it forever.
Yeah, I think Linda's cursing it right now. She's having so much trouble, and she wants to be with us. She's at CEO Space in Henderson, Nevada, which is our favorite, you know, business conference. And
oh, right.
There's trouble getting online in that hotel. I've had to not even broadcast at all, so I know what she's feeling like. But
oh,
anyway,
dear.
Go on. Tell us a little bit more.
Right. So anyway, onward. The show must go on.
Right.
Yeah, I've worked in the industry for, gosh, longer than I care to admit, but probably a little over 40 years. I have a degree in broadcasting. I've worked in a number of different areas of video, corporate video. I've worked in cable access television, you know, kind of Wayne's World. I think the most exciting area, though, that I have worked in, that I have just been doing these last few years, is working with small businesses and helping them understand how easy it is to have access to this technology and to get their message out. And every business has a different story to tell. They have a different reason that they're in business, a different reason they're trying to reach an audience. Each audience is different. So anyway, I'm just having a ball with it. It's something that has really helped me in my professional development. I feel like this is an industry that is constantly changing, and it's really exciting and invigorating to be part of it, because you're constantly having to learn the next thing. What's the next tool? What's the next way of using video that will really enhance that message? And so that's kind of how I got into it. I actually have a background in a combination of theater and in TV, so I bring that to the table too. I help to coach people on how to present themselves on camera, and I think
She's back. I think we need the help.
Yeah, well, that's one of the challenges, and I know Marcia and I were on a hangout together a little bit earlier this week, and she's been working to put together a little bit of a curriculum for people that are new to Hangouts, how to do it, how to handle it. And one of the biggest takeaways I think that both of us had, and that we've had over the last year, Linda and I, because we've been doing this for a while now, is you got to be flexible, you got to dance with it, you got to just accept it the way it is. And, especially if you're traveling like Linda is, or, something goes screwy, it may not be your fault, but it's part of the deal. If you want a really fancy professional video that looks like it was made in a studio and all that, you may need to go to a studio to do that, and I bet Marcia can help with that. Mm-hmm. So, Linda, it looks like you're settled in a little bit. Do you have a question for Marcia? If you don't, I have a list. It's okay.
Without the list, let me just ask this question. So the difference when we would need a professional video on our site versus when it's okay to do the impromptu videos. The popularity of, the GoPros and the different cameras.
Mm-hmm.
Can you talk a little bit about the philosophy of when it's okay to use the amateur videos on the website and when you really should go professional?
Mm-hmm. That's a really, really good question, Linda, and I think you need to take a look at your whole marketing, scheme. I think one of the mistakes that small businesses have when they approach someone like me is they say, I know I have to have video. Please help me make a video. And I say, okay, well, what for? What is the message? Who are you trying to reach? And where are they? I think that those are three key questions you have to ask every time that you think about using video. And in terms of whether you do it in a professional studio or if you do it yourself, like we're doing through a Hangout, it has to do with where you're presenting that message. For example, on your home page of your website, that's your signature spot. That's where you're going to make or break a contact. Someone who might not ever have any contact with you at all may come across your website through some magical way, whether they did a keyword search on the internet or someone recommended that they take a look at your site and maybe get in touch with you. If you don't make a really very lasting impression at that moment, then you're going to lose them. And that's a place where I would say invest your money. Take the time to make something that looks professional, and sometimes you can do that yourself. I mean, there are people who are perfectly capable of doing that, and you can do that with an iPhone, for example, or an Android phone. But you need a good microphone, you need a nice lighting situation, and a good, basic background. So those are that's one really key place that I would say definitely invest your money and have something that looks studio quality, whether it's in a studio or not. In terms of things like frequently asked questions, or if you're capturing an interview with a thought leader in your industry. You're talking with someone, really building conversation as opposed to a presentation. That's a perfect place to have a more casual atmosphere, to not be worried about having various technical issues going on as you're doing it.
Like now.
Right. And more impromptu. And it gives you the opportunity, to veer off a little bit too. If you're in an interview and suddenly you think of another question that you hadn't written down, you can go there. Whereas if you have something scripted and you're in a studio, oh my gosh, I mean, you can't. You can barely breathe in a situation like that sometimes because it's kind of nerve-wracking. But those...
Well, question. I think that, for our viewers, what we're trying to do is encourage people who work from home to, stay the course, to not feel alone. We're all out here kind of doing the same stuff, to explore Google Hangouts and see if they will help you with your business yourself, and at least help you by having connections. So for us, I think we're okay that we're not using a studio right now.
Mm-hmm.
Marcia,
absolutely.
Could you talk a little bit more about capturing the audio? With the prevalent use of people on their cell phones and these cameras, is there an easy way for us to attach some type of external microphone to help improve our videos?
Yes. There are a couple of manufacturers now that have created lavalier microphones specifically to use with your cell phone, and they're very easy to find. If you just do a Google search and say the name of the brand of the smartphone that you have, and say lavalier microphone next to it, it will generate, the search will generate some really good sources for you. In terms of doing our live webcams that we're using right now, I've chosen to have an extra microphone as opposed to using the one on my webcam. And I'm sorry you can't see the webcam. $60, and it's a beautiful high definition image. The picture looks great. The audio is not quite as good. So because I do webinar-based training, I like to have my voice be more prominent and present. So I have, it's called a Blue Yeti, $120 I think I spent on it, and it's a USB connection. It just plugs right into my tower of my computer. But you can go with a lavalier for that as well. And in many instances, the microphone on your webcam is perfectly fine. I just happen to have kind of a larger studio setting on my desk, so the distance from the microphone to my mouth from the webcam is a little bit too far. It gets kind of echoey.
So you're saying right now that when people listen to this later, you're going to sound a lot better than me and Linda do, maybe.
Oh, absolutely. No.
Okay, well, that'll make up for the fact that they can't see you.
No, I mean, all the best laid plans, it could be that when this plays back, it's completely different. But, I just figure I'll give it the best chance it can.
Yeah, well, and I appreciate that, and I know the frustration of, oh, geez, I thought I had everything all lined up, and it's certainly happened to us before. And if you go back into our archives, you'll see some interesting things that have happened in the past. What would you say to the solopreneurs, the people that work at home? One man, woman, whatever, businesses often are our audience. What would you say to them would be like the most important things that they should know about videos? Maybe you have a success story from your own clients that you've worked with someone like that. Anything in that area?
Well, I think the best advice that I can share with the solopreneur is really take inventory of how you're promoting yourself and how you're presenting yourself to the outside business world. Whether you're trying to connect with, on a B2B level or a B2C level, where does your audience hang out? And I don't mean that as a pun, but it kind of came out that way, didn't it?
Mm-hmm.
But figure out where they are, and that's where you need to target, your marketing for the most part. And if you can incorporate video in that scheme, and I would say 90% of the time you can do that, find a way to do it, and do it as simply as you can. Don't make things complicated. People think that video, is this kind of elusive technology that is out of their reach, and I mean, it's literally within your reach. You take it out of your pocket every day that you use your cell phone, and most people have a webcam attached to their laptop, or can FaceTime, on a tablet. There are just a million different options. So it's a matter of really figuring out how can that be incorporated and enhance the message that you're trying to send out there. Don't see it as a separate thing that you have to do. And I'm a great example of not walking my talk. That's something that I'm really trying to take note of right now, and am making some major internal changes so that I'm really paying a lot more attention to where I'm sending my video messages. I spend so much of my day helping other people get their videos put together. I haven't paid attention to me. So, that's an area of growth for all of us.
I think that's a really common issue, not just in entrepreneurs, but in all of us on the planet. It's a lot easier often to help someone else with their project, to support someone else, to cheer them on, to do the work that will help them move forward. And then when we look at our own, oops.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And the real cool thing about video is, and I know many of the viewers here have heard this before. I'm kind of just preaching to the choir, but look at ways to repurpose everything you do. So if you create, say, a short video that you use in your blog, take a look at that and see what can you extract from that you could tweet. What can you extract from that and make 2 or 3 different Facebook posts? What portion of that could you use as just shorter video clips and have that somewhere on your website? Don't think of it as the end-all, beat-all, that's the finished product. And the same for anything that you write. If you take the time to write out, 500 words for a blog, those words can magically be turned into other important things that you could enhance with video. Does that make sense?
It sure does. And I'm wondering if you could also speak just for a minute, because it may be that there's someone out there that doesn't know this, and I don't know the exact statistics, and you may not either, but I know you can speak to the issue, which is we are visual creatures. And so if you are writing a blog, if you are posting on Facebook, if you are interacting with the world on the web, and you are not putting up anything for people to look at, it's only written words, you're certainly not going to have the impact. And we know, not only, I believe anyway, and I'm hoping you'll underscore this, that obviously writing something is better than doing nothing at all. Posting a picture is way better than writing, and having a video is even more impactful. That's just how we are. We're much more likely to want to interact with somebody when they show us a video. Isn't that true?
Absolutely. You want to watch it, and afterwards you're going to be more inclined to share it, and you're going to be more inclined to take action based on what that message is. So
get some videos if you haven't got any already. I mean, if you're trying to grow a business.
It's critical. And truly, I mean, if you're not doing video in your business, I can guarantee you one of your competitors is. And they're taking business away from you potentially. You have to really step up to the plate. And video's not going anywhere. Video is going to expand exponentially over the next couple of years. So it's actually easier to get into it now while people are so forgiving with how videos are coming out, than it's going to be 2-3 years down the line. There's going to be a new level of excellence that's going to be expected, and a certainty that you're just using it.
Marcia, can you talk a little bit about the length of video?
Yes. What would you like me to say? I know the point you're trying to make. We need to keep videos really short and sweet and succinct. I recommend to my clients that they don't go over about 90 seconds. Research shows now that the drop-off rate after 60 seconds of viewing a video is dramatic. So if you don't catch them in that first 10 seconds or so, they're not going to watch for a minute anyway. If they do watch for that first minute, that's about when they start getting bored and start thinking about playing a game on their computer or going off to the next thing. But that 60 to 90 seconds is a really good time frame to keep in mind. Now, if you have information that relates more to a how-to sort of explanation or a demonstration, that lends itself to a longer piece. You can go 5 minutes without it being a problem. If you're doing instruction, any kind of online training, you can keep your modules up to 15-20 minutes. That's about as long as educators say people have an attention span for learning. But you need to change it up in that too. It's not just total lecture. You need to, again, have images to look at and interaction involved in it. But for a basic web video for a business, I say keep it to no longer than 90 seconds if possible.
So that would be the hi, I'm Sarah, thank you for coming to my website kind of video and a tidbit of information. And as you could record a longer video, and just break it up into smaller bits so that people can be hooked in more than one way. And so for those of you who may have noticed that have been watching us for a while, this is something I've been saying to our team, is that I want to get right into the meat of our topic and not spend so much time on introductions, because I know that somebody that lands on this video is likely to get bored listening to me introduce myself and run away after 10 seconds, and I want them to stay longer. I think more people listen to our broadcasts than sit down and actually watch it, though they may watch the first few minutes. I know that that's just generally how it is, and they can download it and listen to it as a recording. So, that's part of why we're doing what we're doing, because we want people to, listen to the whole dang thing. But if you lose them in the first 10 seconds, they won't. So, Marcia, guess what? We're almost out of time. Is there one quick little thing that you want to make sure you get out there in terms of video and what somebody ought to know about it?
Well, I'll leave you with what I think is kind of a profound thought that the Forrester Research Group recently came out with this quote, and we've been using it pretty far and wide in the video industry, but 1 minute of video equals 1.8 million words.
In terms of impact, or what?
In terms of impact.
Wow.
So 1 minute of video can take you, maybe half an hour to perfect and get uploaded and send out, right? How long does it take you to write 1.8 million words?
Wow.
Just your time alone in creating that message, let alone the distribution of it and where it will go and where it will be seen. Keep that in mind. Video is really, really critical to our messaging for our businesses.
That's a great statistic, and it makes me really glad we've got all these videos.
Yes, you're doing such a great job. I love it.
Again, one of the really cool things about Hangouts, if you're trying to decide why should I do Hangouts versus any other video conferencing, when you do a Hangout, you get a video on YouTube. Boom. And you can do things with that video. Repurpose it like crazy, like Marcia said. So we are at the end of our half hour pretty much. I want to give Marcia a chance to say, if somebody would like to connect with you further, I know we can't share a screen with you right now, but if you want to share your website or any other information, if you have a 10-tip document that people can download or anything like that, please tell us how to follow up with you if we're interested in learning more about using videos in our business.
Sure. Just go to my website, mindfulmediaservices.com, and you have two things you could do there right away. One, if you'd like to have a conversation with me just to talk about video and see if there's some way that I might be able to help you out with that, I have a link right below my homepage video to schedule a video visioning session. And then in my top right column on my website, you can also download a free ebook on using an iPad for video.
Oh, cool.
It's got great information there about what equipment you can use to do that.
Okay, so I'll make sure that your website gets posted up on the timeline for Google Plus after we're all done, and so people can reach you. Thank you so much for chatting with us today. It's I can't wait to have you back, and we can have the video actually working.
Yes.
It's not a topic that we can completely cover in a half hour. But
My
our whole
pleasure.
goal on Monday Momentum is to be quick, to get people up and running. So how about it, Linda? Will you sign out and tell us a little bit about how you can help people and how they can reach you?
Well, I just want to say, Marcia, thanks for that tip about the difference when you can use the amateur videos and when you might think about having more professional video. Placement on the home page, the first impressions, I think that was a great tip. The other thing, too, we didn't really talk too much about it, but having a professional video made that's a little bit longer and then maybe chunking out those segments for the home page and for the various pages would go a long way. So I'm Linda Kay, interactivesynergy.com, and I help people put videos on their websites.
Great. Thank you, Linda. And, you know, I've seen Linda's been working with me for over a year on these Hangouts, and for both of us, it was a pretty new thing when we started, and I think we're both a lot more comfortable with it now. So I know that for those of you who may be sort of uncomfortable with video camera and you don't like the way you look and you whatever, you get over that, don't you, Linda?
We did some challenges again this morning, but
well, today was really challenging, yeah. But it's
really
something you get used to and you get better at. So please don't be afraid, all of you out there. Try it and do it, and you can learn and grow just like we are. So thank you again for joining us today. I'm Sarah Coolidge. You can see my name right there somehow. And we are here every Monday morning because we know what it's like to work from home, to try to do some of these things on your own. You can lose your energy. You can get demotivated. You can get distracted by doing the laundry or other things. And we want to help you start your week out strongly, get you going in the right direction with some good momentum so you slide into Friday feeling really good about what you did all week. We are here for you. We're here for each other. That's why we do this. So please come back next Monday, 8 a.m. Pacific time. You can find us on our YouTube channel and like that and share that like crazy, and we would really like that too. Thank you again, and we will see you next Monday.
bye.
Bye.